again, this is Jared the janitor with Jani-Serv Incorporated in Salt Lake City, Utah. Right now, I guess I'm going to take a brief minute, explain our onboarding process, how we get from who you are to what we need to do together to make sure you have the right service set up, okay? So imagine you've now filled out an online form or made a phone call. What's next, okay? So if you can come with me, I'm going to show you, either you're going to get myself or one of our sales staff come out, meet with you in person. They're going to fill out a form just getting the proper contact information, building square footage, address, and who's hiring, the frequency that you're looking to have your services done, and then a handful of other services that you may be interested, from stripping and waxing or carpet cleaning and windows, high dusting, pressure washing, handyman, etc. Okay? So this is our very, very general onboarding process. It gives you a vague idea from 1 day a week to 5 days a week, the monthly rate you could expect, okay? Whether it's month to month or you sign up for an annual agreement, we have a contract terms and conditions here with a brief scope of work, okay? This is the most quickest, generic, basic cleaning that you can find, okay? You can sign this and now we've got an agreement. We can move forward. What we do from there is we set up the staff. We're going to find either an employee or contractor in that area that is currently servicing buildings that we're comfortable with and we know that is performing well. That way we build up those teams to give you the best employee cleaning process. Okay, so what we don't want to do is we don't want to just, okay, we made a deal, great, I'm going to go find somebody and then just hope that they do a good job. We take people through a cleaning training process, and I'll show you that in another video. But now that we've figured out a price together, we can sit down and mutually agree upon a price, or I can get you an estimate, right? You're probably looking for 3 bids or 5 bids. Either way, we'd love to work with you and give you a best and final, no matter what we gave you. Generally, what you're going to find is our estimate is anywhere from 10 or 15% high or low from where it needs to be. That's why we need to come in person. I can give you stuff online or through a review site or a bid site, or right off the street when we meet at the door from one of our sales staff. But we need to physically see the facility, and that's what's going to adjust your price. Okay? So real quick, I'm going to show you, now that we've come into your building, we've determined, let's say you're a retail center and you wanted to have your concrete maintained. Figure out the right product, okay? The process that you need done is then taken, like we said, in this bid form, and then it's put together on either a work order or a scope of work. So here's a retail project where we're doing either the daily cleaning or pressure washing the exterior of the dumpsters or something, okay? So we made that for a Walgreens service. Here, if you're a construction company and you need to have your property cleaned up, what we'll do is give you a brief background about who we are and what we do, what kind of chemicals we use. I showed you already. Brulin is one of the brands that we use, but we also use Brady. They're a wholesale janitorial provider, so we have great buying power. We can provide the products for you, and we determine the kind of products that we use. Okay. They also provide training classes for our staff. Okay. Then we'll get a brief scope of work established, depending on what it is that you're looking for. This, remember, was a construction cleanup, so this is extremely brief on what we're going to do, the contact, bid price, etc. Okay? Now, if it was a house cleaning, we'll have a scope of work established for your home. If you are a general office, here's a more in-depth scope of work for your office. From daily, depending on the area, and we'll line item it out to the weekly and then the monthly. We can offer a initial deep cleaning where we come in and either scrub and wax the floors or clean the carpets and we'll thoroughly disinfect and do high dusting, etc., and give you a rate and then a price, and then leave you with a handful of prices that you can choose from at another time. Okay? Then we've got the, I don't know, maxed out version where it's all set up. If you want a 20-page in-depth version of your building, we can do that as well. Okay? So everything that we offer is based off of your particular needs. So we have scopes of work for the high rise, the medical clinic, the retail center, the one-time job, the random person calling. So on these scopes of work, right, we have a document that we've agreed on together. It's wonderful, but obviously a document or anything that's written, if it's not seen on a regular basis, it's kind of pointless. So one of the things that we've done, I don't know if you can see it here, come on with me. We've got a laminator. Woo! We can laminate the scope of work, and we can put it on an Excel format and either get a magic marker, okay? And then we also have online systems that we can use, but it's more for inspecting and stuff like that. But this allows the staff, we can post this laminated scope of work, which I'll show you over here, on the closet interior door next to like the dispensers, as well as these laminated pieces which will tell you, hey, here's the process that you're supposed to clean with, the chemicals and the dilutions, etc., etc. Okay? And then they'll use this scope of work and it'll break down for them what they need to do daily and then on what day. Okay? So this is just a general one we had for a CrossFit place. Okay? What they would do in the locker room, the cardio, the speed bikes, etc., etc. Okay? So what we would do here is then take the general scope of work, which is probably in a Word format, put it in an Excel process so that you could then have that broken down so when the staff comes in, they have no question, they know what to do that day. That is something that we would sit down and adjust together and figure out what it is. I know that you might say, well, you're the experts. That's great, but you have pet peeves that you've had issue with, most likely, if this isn't the first time that you've hired a janitorial service, and you may have gone through 3 or 4 or 40 different companies. So let's figure out something together that's going to work, set up a process, and then let it work. And then what we can do is we can watch over the next month, 2 months, 3 months, and adjust it so that it works for the need. Now, depending on the environment, coming from Arizona, dusting was like a daily thing. Here in Utah, very different. The things that kill us are in the wintertime. The floor frequency and cleaning and stuff like that is completely different than it is, let's say, in like Montana or Florida or other states like California that we operate in. So everything is set up so that we can adjust the scope and the frequency to fit the need of your services. And then we have to figure out, are you guys getting provided for properly? Okay? So I'm here to give you the best scope and then days, but then that can be adjusted. If 5 days doesn't work in the budget anymore because you're downsizing, well, don't get rid of the cleaning company, just downsize to 3 days or 2 days, and then we adjust the scope of work. Or did the minimum wage go up in your state? Well, let's adjust to make it work accordingly. And how can we make a blended program where your staff does some things and our staff does some things? Here's the scope of work. And we figure out what we can do to get together and then just move forward. That's all we are. We're a partner in cleaning. We're a separate entity, but we're here to look for the best opportunity to help you out and make sure that process works. So that's why all these things have been made up. So if you have any questions, feel free to call 801-500-4747. Thanks again. This is Jared, the janitor with Jani-Serv.